Hello. Hi. How are you? I'm doing okay. It has been a while, friends. Um, a lot has changed since I don't know. Even when I last posted last year, a year and a half ago. I don't know. I don't know. Um, my name is Amanda. This is I don't even. I think my channel name is Amanda Made It Again. Maybe. uh, I have. I am a fiber enthusiast. Used to own a small wool washing uh, business. Currently, I do not do that anymore. Um, I work in a crystal shop. uh, Life is very different now. Um, Most likely, the title of this video is going to give you some sort of clue, but I'm just winging it here. As usual, this is not a highly scripted, highly edited, uh, polished channel in any way, shape, or form. Sometimes I get a hair across my ass to try to do that, but it doesn't stick. Um, so, crafting while being visually impaired. I have been hearing impaired since I was 4 years old. Um, Wore hearing aids, everything. My speech developed normally, which we will get into in a moment. Almost 4 years ago, I was experiencing really bad headaches, and most likely that was mental health related. However, I did go to an eye doctor to just make sure that I wasn't experiencing something with my vision. Um, the results of that visit is that I did get glasses. I am at that point I had a very slight need for glasses. But I did find out that I have something called Ushers 2A, Usher syndrome 2A. Um, and what that means is that I have hearing loss paired with a visual impairment called retinitis pigmentosa. Um, there are a few different categories of Usher syndrome. I have what I would consider the easy one um, because I had moderate to severe hearing loss for most of my life, but I could still function. The hearing loss didn't occur until, and this is true of Usher's 2A, the hearing loss did not occur until after speech and language development, which is why I was able to develop normal speech patterns. I don't know. Then it is characterized also, my version, by the early signs of retinitis pigmentosa can start in teens and 20s. And that is the first thing is kind of like night vision issues. I had those. I certainly had night vision issues, but I was a drunk. So I just assumed all my problems at night, because that's when I did all my drinking and drugging, were because of that. I didn't I didn't at all equate that with an actual vision issue. Um, and then in middle life, the retinitis pigmentosa really starts to take hold, and you go down to tunnel vision. You lose peripheral vision incrementally until you are down to pinpoints. Um, I am not there yet. However, recent appointments, I have in the past 2 years lost 15% of my hearing ability for the speaking tones. And I've also lost significant peripheral vision, and my glasses prescription is changed again. Now, the this is a progressive thing. Potentially, the hearing may stabilize um, for this version of Ushers. The other versions of Ushers, people are born completely blind and deaf, or they get to middle age with no problems whatsoever, and then they go completely blind and deaf rapidly. Which is why I say I have the easy one. Um, there are people who have things so much more worse than I do, and I am not going to pretend that that's not the case. However, the progression rate has surprised me. I I don't know if when I received this information, I don't know if I just didn't take it in appropriately or if it was not explained to me in a language that I could integrate. I thought I had more time. These recent appointments have let me know that if the rate of progression continues at the rate it has for the past 2 years, I will be legally blind and profoundly deaf in 2 years. Now, legally blind and profoundly deaf do not necessarily mean what people think they mean. Legally blind will mean that I cannot drive anymore. It doesn't mean that I don't actually see things. I just don't see things the way that people with 20/20 vision do. And profoundly deaf does not mean I am profoundly deaf in every range of frequency of noise. Because the funny thing is that I can be still overwhelmed by visual and auditory stimuli, which is such a bitch. Like, why, if I'm losing these things, do they still cause me to have overwhelm? But anyway, so, and also these appointments, I mean, when I say recent, they were like a week ago. And it has drastically changed how I am thinking about and approaching my making. And by that I mean that I don't want to waste my time on things that I don't enjoy. I don't want to use the yarn just to use it. I don't want to make a thing just because I can. And that's a weird place to be, even though it's a good place to be. It's odd in a way. I did get back into fiber arts back in 2018, 2019 when I got sober. I had done knitting and crochet off and on for close to 20 years by that point, but not seriously. And so it's been an interesting shift. I have since cast on 3 lace things with an idea for a brioche lace thing now that I want to make. I have zero interest in making clothes for a few reasons. One is middle age means perimenopause, which also means hormonal fluctuations and weight gain. And I have gained a significant amount of weight over the past year. I've been to the doctors. My testosterone is low. I'm now slapping testosterone gel on my calf every morning, which is like, these are not the things that you think about. Which actually, it takes a while to work, but it does seem to be improving my energy and stuff. So, making clothes, the last few things I made did not make me happy. There's an expectation and a pressure that I don't feel like engaging with right now. So I'm not gonna. I have been weaving a lot. And actually, I'll show you this. I was very proud of this. Um, this is hand processed, like hand washed, processed, spun, woven Maine fabric. This was primarily made with a Icelandic lamb fleece that I had, and you can tell it's hand woven because I still have an end sticking out of there. Whatever. I can't see it. Oh god. Anyway, so I sewed this. I think it's called the plover pouch from Noodlehead something or other. This is the inner fabric, and then a couple of lace projects. But I'm not a very good sewist. Like, look at that. But I don't give a shit. I really like this bag. It makes me so happy. It uses, this fabric, the lining fabric, I've had for a couple of years and I love it and I never knew what to do with it. It makes me happy. And that's what I want my making to be, is happy. So I have still been spinning a lot because, let's face it, spinning is tactile. You don't need your eyes for that. It feels good. I can play with color because I can still see right now. I think fairly normally. I am still driving because it's not illegal for me to drive right now. But I haven't driven at night in years, and my family, everyone is aware that this is going to change eventually. I have been able to speak with some other makers who are low vision, visually impaired, and there's plenty of hope, at least. I did speak with a low vision clinic, and they told me that there's absolutely ways to continue doing these things that I love to do. So I'm excited for that. Not to say this isn't still hard, but it's not going to change, and I have to accept that. And I'm going through all of the stages of, anger, grief, denial. However, whatever way they go in, I'm probably not following the correct order, but I'm also not very good at following directions sometimes. So that's that. I figured I'd show you a few whips, and I don't know if I'll continue talking about this. I don't know if it's interesting to people. I have no idea if other people are talking about this because I've been off of social media since February of this year, and I don't know if I'm going back. I don't think it really matters. But I did figure I would show you a couple of whips and just go from there. So the first one is, this is the Swallowtail shawl. Don't remember who it's by. I'm doing it in Knitting for Olive. It's a cotton merino blend. I don't remember what the name of it is. And I don't know what the color is. I got it in her inventory blowout thing from a few months ago. But it's really pretty, and I'm enjoying it. I had to rip it out a couple times because it's not like a just sit and go knitting, which I have done a lot of lately for years in dealing with certain things. And so this is different, but it's good. It's challenging. Oh, that lighting is getting weird. we're going to deal with this. And then the next one I have started is the Rosa Flora by Romy Hill. Started this yesterday, or 2 days ago. It looks kind of just like a mess right now. I'm hoping that's just because that's what lace does for a while. But I am using a gradient yarn called Forest Edge from Windy? Something like that. Corey from Fossil Fibers suggested it. So that's what I'm using. When in doubt, listen to Corey. I also have a plan to weave with these two from Cornbread and Honey hand-dyed yarns. It's called Cloaked in Snow. I got this from a new local yarn shop in my town called Forget Me Not Fabrics, but they are yarn, fabric, all that stuff. Really pretty color. I want to see the fabric that it'll make. Now for spinning, I've gone a little nutso on cross arms and just been playing, really. I think this is a Scott's Mountain Crafts cross arm. This is a Batty Fibers cross arm with some tunis. This was just something I put together, a blend I did on my blending board just to play with color. This is a little sample skein of some more fiber I'm spinning on my cross arm. This is a J. Riley Fiber Arts. His spindles are real nice. I really like his. And I mean, Scott's Mountain are great. Like they're good little workhorse ones. They're fairly inexpensive. J. Riley's again, or I don't know what his Riley something. Anyway, his are beautiful. I really like his, and the tip is very tippy. It's hard to talk about cross arm spindles without going into the realm of inappropriate. What else do I have? Another Riley cross arm with, again, a little blend I did. Oh, this is I think it's a Carrie Sherry cross arm, and this is some Santa Cruz Island wool that I had received and scoured. This stuff is so greasy. It is such a greasy fleece. It's insane. The yield on it is like 30-40% maybe. It is lovely, soft, short, super short too. The staple length is super short and it's very crimpy. Like, it's such a lovely thing. It's just the yield on it is, it can be surprising. I'll say that. Another Riley with another blend I did just to play. That's all I have down here. I'm sure I've got all kinds of other stuff all over the place. But yeah, so this is what I'm doing. I've got another lace thing on the needles that I think it's called the Hokai, something. I'm doing that one with mohair. Maybe I'll show it if I do this again. I don't know. I just don't know. Everything feels very fluid these days. Doesn't feel super... I don't even know what I'm looking to say. I don't know. Anyway, if you are low vision, I would love to hear your experiences with crafting, any tips, any thoughts. Let me know how you guys are doing. I'm not on, I mean, I still have my account on Instagram and Facebook, but they're not under Coastal Wool Washing. I switched them back to Manda Made It, or Manda Made It again. I don't remember. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. And maybe I'll see you in the next one. Bye.